Hello, today I want to talk a little bit of my story. So, my name is Lou for those who don't know me, and I'm very grateful to be here because I want to give you some context as to why I do what I do. What I want you to get out of this is that you can truly reinvent yourself. You can truly create the life you want if you choose to commit to personal development and learn about you, learn about how your mind works because this is the key to everything. So, first of all, I came to the US from France as an immigrant back in my early 20s, and that's important because that means I had no support system. I was completely alone. But I had a dream to come to the US, and because the first time I came, I just felt like home. I was like, this is where I want to come back. I was fortunate to come across an opportunity when I was in college back in France that offered scholarships to Rutgers University. And I applied for it among many other students, and I was selected. I was obviously thrilled because this was the beginning of my dream coming true. Now, I did not know it at the time, but I applied some of the universal laws. Now, this is great because I was able to make my dream come true, right? But at the same time, because I was not aware I was applying those laws, I couldn't replicate it in other areas of my life. So, when I was in college, I also met my first husband, and unfortunately, he was an alcoholic, which means even though at the beginning I thought love could heal all things, well, things turned out a little bit darker and he became abusive, right? Physically, emotionally. And so I have some good memories and not some less positive memories. But again, there's always a contrast and a reason. So whether, even though, I can remember all the sleepless nights or sleeping in my car when it's snowing outside or the police showing up, right? All these things that could be really painful. Today, I'm grateful actually, because it really gave me an insight into what people with mental health, depression, and addiction go through. It made me realize as well that you really can't change people unless they really, really want to change and they have to be really wanting it deep down themselves. And that was a big takeaway for me because today, this still applies for me in my coaching work. If the person really wants to change, they have to be able to commit, right? And I found that out because we even moved to another state. Well, thinking a change in environment, a new start, new beginnings for everything, it would change everything for him. But it didn't, because until you change the inside, nothing is going to change. And that is so important. And that applies to anybody. Until you change the inside, nothing is going to change on the outside. So during that time, I was a teacher and obviously I had to show up for my students no matter what was happening in my personal life. And I even took a side job to supplement our family finances. So I was working hard, right? And this is part of the paradigm as well, because my parents grew up with this paradigm of working hard, money is hard to, earn. And so this was my reality as well. The paradigms, the programming that was in my head was really reflected in my life. Now, at some point, I felt like, this wasn't me. I felt oppressed. I couldn't be me. And I had to make some difficult decisions. My green card was at stake, but I was because I was in the process of renewing it. But I decided it was time for a change, and I decided to turn it over to the universe, and that I was ready to face whatever consequence was going to come out of it, even if it meant going back home, going back to France. Now, some of you may think, well, that's not that bad, right? Wait, but it wasn't my dream. That I wanted to be in the US. That was my dream. So the thought was really devastating of that possibility, but I stayed focused. I decided, you know what, somehow it's all going to work out. And it did. And again, I applied another universal law, which I didn't know at the time. And that was that faith that somehow it would all work out. Now, in order to recover from this whole experience, right, from an emotional standpoint, I took up tennis and came across a tennis coach who was into personal development. And this is when I really was first introduced to personal development, and I dived into it, from Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, and Jack Canfield. This was my first dive into personal development. And this is when I was able to transition from my French teacher job to my first HR job. And I knew nothing of HR, right? But this is where, again, when you have a desire, when you realize you can learn anything and that you can do anything, nothing is going to stop you from achieving any goal you have. you're able to do anything, and personal development gives you those tools. And so I was able to transition into HR, and I rose up quickly within that organization I worked for and had regular promotions, until I became the head of HR for that organization. And things were going pretty well. This is also when I met my second husband, and during that time we had three beautiful children, including one with special needs, who, a lot of the time you can think, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, right? No, I'm not sorry. He's the best gift I've ever had. He is truly my biggest inspiration. So, in every challenge we face, there's something good. I want you to know that, and there's something to learn. But then, due to the fact that my work environment wasn't the healthiest, I decided, it was time for a change. And I transitioned to corporate America. And because I had a passion for employee relations and coaching managers, this is exactly what I did, right? And it was great. I really enjoyed my job, but part of me still felt unfulfilled. Part of me still wanted more. Part of me wanted to be more, do more, have a greater impact on people. And I wanted to keep on growing. And this is something that's kind of like part of me, keep growing. And so I crave more, and I wanted to provide more for my family as well, have more time with them, more time freedom, and have the ability to give back to the special needs community that gave me so much support when we had a little guy when he first came into the world. And so I dived back into personal development at that time, big time. And I got back on the Bob Proctor seminars. And then after attending a few, I decided to take the jump. I decided to go on the mentorship with the Proctor Gallagher Institute and to become a Proctor Gallagher consultant, a coach, affiliated with Bob Proctor, and to have my own business. But if it wasn't for their mentorship, I would have never dreamt of doing this, of becoming a business owner. In fact, I've never thought of becoming a business owner, and the idea daunted me. I was brought up with, just get a good job, work hard, follow the system, provide for your family. And that's what I came with, my programming. So, but I fell in love with this material. It spoke to me, and I realized this was exactly what I had been looking for. And so my love of teaching was still there, and this provided me a way to really help other people in a much more holistic way, helping them to do more, be more, have more, and create the life they want, while I could create the life I want for my family as well. So if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever felt somewhat unfulfilled or burnt out, just frustrated, right, overall, if you've ever felt like you wanted to create something more in your life, whether it's a new career or a business, this is a sign for you that it's time to grow. Because this desire, you wouldn't have it if you were not capable of achieving it. We all have a specific desire, right? I had a desire to do more and be more. If you have that same desire to do more, have more, be more, live a different life, create more, you can do this. You too can change everything today. And you're responsible for your results because your mind holds the key to everything. Now, without proper guidance, it can be really challenging. But with the proper guidance, you can do this. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what Bob Proctor did and showed me, right? He had a step-by-step program. It's like if you follow the steps and if you listen to your mentor, you're going to be able to achieve the results you want. You're going to be able to create the life you want because it's all based on universal laws. It's science. It's not like anything crazy. So it's really, I invite you today to think about your life and your goals. Are they what you really want? Are you doing something more? And if you have a dream, right, what is it costing you to wait? What is it costing you in terms of income? What is it costing you in terms of quality of life? In terms of time you have for your loved ones? Or for yourself? In terms of your health? In terms of your relationships? What is it costing you if you're still waiting for the perfect time? There will never be the perfect time. So I really want you to take away today out of my whole story that if you want to live a life on your own terms, because none of us know how much we have left, then I'll encourage you to go after your dreams. Because if you have something that you would love to do, even though you have no idea how to do it, go after it. You'll find out how to do it along the way. And you have this desire for a reason. You are fully capable of achieving it, and you just need the right guidance to get there. If I can do it, you can do it too. And but understand this, it all starts with a decision. Are you really ready to commit to yourself, to your dream, right? Because nothing happens till you make a decision. Most of us say, I'll do this when I have the time, I'll do this when I have the money, but nothing will change until you change inside, until you commit to your dream, you commit to your goal, and you make the decision to go for it now, today, and get the right mentor to assist you on your journey. And I know you can do it, so choose to invest in you. You'll never regret that investment, that I can promise. And if you want some help, and send me a message, and if you'd like to learn about how mentorship works with me in particular, please just send me a message and I'll be happy to have a chat with you. Bye.